Hi guys, welcome to a video showcasing rebranded logos from all 30 NBA teams. These logo designs were made by an artist, not by me, and I'm just trying to show them off to the viewers on YouTube. These are my favorite logo designs I've shown so far, so if you like this video, feel free to click the like button and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get right into the logos. Starting out here with Atlanta Hawks, this logo is very similar to their current logo, it's just the Pac-Man Hawk logo. The only real difference is the words on the outside around the circle aren't really there. I don't really like either logo, but I really wish that I could find a good Hawks logo because I think they could have a better logo, you know? Moving on with the Boston Celtics. If I had to think about recreating the Boston Celtics logo or maybe modernizing it to the current day, I would think about this logo. This is like the perfect. I really like the colors. I do like the leprechaun's head and the pipe, obviously, and I really like this yellow. I don't know if the current logo has this yellow color. I really like this logo. So, and the shamrock on the leprechaun's hat is a nice touch too. Next up for the Brooklyn Nets, I believe this is the Brooklyn Bridge in the logo. I feel like if the Nets should have a logo, they should have like a basketball net in there. Now, I might be going too deep into it. Maybe the bridge part is the net, but it's kind of a stretch. I don't know. I do like this logo, but I wish it had like a basketball net in it. For the Charlotte Hornets, this logo is kind of like a combination of their current one, I think, kind of. I do really like the wasp. I think it's a cool design wasp, and it's more circular than what they currently have. There's really aggressive and sharp. But I do think this logo would be better as like a secondary logo rather than a primary. It doesn't really say like Charlotte Hornets anywhere, so I think secondary is the best bet for this one. But I do like it. Next up for the Chicago Bulls, just like the Celtics logo, I think this would be a great modern logo for the old school Chicago Bulls logo. I really like the horns, how they're like this white and black. It really makes it aggressive, and the bull face is really cool. And I know the current logo has like the unibrow. This one kind of eliminated it, which I kind of like too. So I like this logo a lot, way better than their current logo. What do you guys think? Next up for the Cleveland Cavaliers, I think this logo looks more of like a soccer football club logo. Like everyone outside the US would call it football. I don't really think it suits an NBA team, but I do like the overall design. So if you wanted to do like a cross between soccer and basketball, this could be a good logo, but not for an actual NBA logo or rebrand, you know? Next up for the Dallas Mavericks, I really like this logo. This is kind of like a throwback to the logos before they had, before what they had now. I don't really like their current one. Like I've said in previous videos, the horse isn't doing it for me, but the hat and the ball, the green ball, like the green and the blue really look good to me. And I really like this logo for the Dallas Mavericks. Mark Cuban, pick this. Next up for the Denver Nuggets. This logo is also really cool. It incorporates from what they had in previous logos, the city skyline in the middle, and then it has the pickaxes for the gold rush that happened in Colorado. It includes mountains at the top of this logo and between the pickaxes, obviously the basketball there too. And I might be looking way too into this, but it kind of looks like the whole logo itself is like a gold nugget, representing the gold nuggets, the Denver Nuggets, So I really like this logo. It's really cool. Next up for the Detroit Pistons, I really like this logo too. It looks like a kind of like a car hood ornament to me, and obviously it incorporates the Detroit Pistons current logo, or similar to their current logo. And the colors obviously look great, and I think this is great because it represents the cars in Detroit and stuff, and would be perfect for the Detroit Pistons logo. Next up for the Golden State Warriors, this logo is actually really similar to what they currently have. It's just kind of in a different shape, and obviously the bridge is from a different angle, the Golden Gate Bridge. I do like this logo, but it doesn't really say Golden State Warriors, and in fact it actually says San Francisco, SF for San Francisco. Sorry, Oakland. But I do think this logo is better as a secondary logo. Not the primary, but I do like this logo overall. Next up for the Houston Rockets, man, I feel like a lot of these logos could be good secondary logos, including this one. I do like how it's the rocket ship, and I think that circle, or like this semicircle, is like flying over the moon or something, or maybe the sun or the earth or something. I don't know. I think it looks really cool though, and I really like the fire explosion at the bottom. But it doesn't really say Houston Rockets anywhere, or Rockets or Houston or anywhere. So I'm going to say it's good for a secondary logo, but I really like it. Moving on to the Indiana Pacers. This logo would also be a good secondary logo. It has like the whole state of Indiana in the background and just like a plain simple Pacers logo. I guess it has this little tip at the top. But I really wish that they would include stuff that has to do with like cars, like the Indy 500 in Indiana. And I believe the Pacers are named after that and like horse racing or something. So if they included that in this logo, I think it would be much better. Next up for the Los Angeles Clippers. I really like this logo as well. Finally a logo represents what the Clippers are. The Clippers are named after ships, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I do like how the chain goes all the way around the logo and the anchor. And then a nice touch is the basketball above the anchor. It's like where the chain, on like a normal anchor, this little ring where the chain would connect to it and it goes all the way up. I think it's a cool touch, and I really like this logo. For the Los Angeles Lakers, this logo is really modernized of their current logo. It uses big bold letters of what we see in logos and just in general in this day of age. And I do like the star that they added in after the L. I wish it was in a different spot, maybe like in the A, inside the hole of the A, maybe in the R even. But overall I do like this logo, and I think it's a pretty cool design. Next up for the Memphis Grizzlies. This logo is basically just a grizzly bear walking inside the state of Tennessee for some reason. And I believe in the background that's a moon with 3 stars. Let me know what that's for. It reminds me of Dragon Ball Z for some reason. I know the colors are different, but I don't really like this logo that much, and I think the Grizzlies, although their current logo is not that great either, they should stick with their current logo. Next up for the Miami Heat. I think once again this logo reminds me of like a soccer club logo. I don't really like it that much. The colors obviously are good, which is their normal colors, but the 3 white lines in the background of the ball and the fire are weird, and I don't really like how the fire design is here. So I'm not really vibing with this logo. Next up for the Milwaukee Bucks. I believe this logo is just like a combination of their current primary logo, and I think they have a secondary logo of the state of Wisconsin, right? And this one isn't really doing it for me. I think they added some more to the deer, but I don't know. I don't really like this logo that much. I think it's a little too boring. Next up for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, I think this logo is based off of their logo from last season, but it does look really similar to their actual current logo. I don't know if the guy made it before or after this was announced, but I do really like this logo, and I do like the colors a lot. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Next up, for the New Orleans Pelicans, I do really like this logo a lot. I think it's a lot less busy than what they currently have. Obviously, they have the proper colors, and I also really like the design of the pelican. I think it's pretty accurate, and obviously the fleur-de-lis at the bottom makes sense. It's New Orleans. Next up for the New York Knicks. Now this logo kind of reminds me of the New York Mets logo, from baseball, MLB baseball. And I would actually like it as like a secondary logo if they remove the basketball behind the Empire State Building, because I think that the overall shape and design is pretty cool. Next up, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now you guys know I like OKC logos that show the buffalo in it, because obviously hordes of buffalo are what the thunder noise comes from. That's the idea of the logo. I do really like this logo a lot. I like the colors, but yellow and the orange inside the buffalo head kind of look weird. I think if the buffalo is completely blue and then have that orange background, it would be much better. But overall, this logo is pretty cool, and I like it. Next up for the Orlando Magic. I think this logo is like perfect for them as like a secondary logo. Obviously the O representing Orlando, and they have the ball from their current logo, I believe, or one of their logos in the past, and the stars that are flying across screen. I think this is perfect for them, and I like it a lot. Next up for the Philadelphia 76ers. Now I thought making a logo similar to what they currently have and making it better would be pretty hard, but this guy did it. This logo obviously is great, and I like how he added 13 stars at the bottom rather than what they have now. It represents the 13 colonies of in 1976 when the U.S. obviously declared independence. So I think this logo is really cool. Next up for the Phoenix Suns. I would like this logo way better if the star wasn't a star, but rather like a circle, like representing the sun. I think that's what they're trying to do here, but it doesn't doesn't really come across that way. And I don't think they should have the state of Nevada as the logo. But I just noticed this actually. I see that it's like a phoenix at the top, representing Phoenix, Arizona, obviously. Next up for the Portland Trailblazers. Now, I think this logo would be a great secondary logo for the Portland Lumberjacks, not the Portland Trailblazers, because this logo represents Lumberjacks with this axe. I wish they would include something like trails or something, because the Portland Trailblazers are based on people who settled in Oregon following the Oregon Trail. Next up for the Sacramento Kings. I think this logo is awesome. The crown is this gray thing over here, obviously representing the King's crown. And I think it also includes the mountains in Northern California, specifically in Sacramento. I think it's really cool. I'm not quite sure what the star is for in the middle, but it has the colors of the team, and I think it's a really cool looking logo. Next up for the San Antonio Spurs. Now this is obviously just the spur from a cowboy boot, which is what they are, but I don't really like the design of this logo because I wish it was slanted. It looks more like a field goal post from the NFL. Kind of looks weird to me, so I'm gonna say no on this logo. Next up for the Toronto Raptors. This logo is actually really cool. Obviously it has the claws from the Raptors in the middle of the logo, and then on the bottom you see the red. It kind of looks like a maple leaf, which I'm pretty sure that's what it's supposed to be from the Canadian flag, showing that the Raptors are like Canada's NBA basketball team, which is awesome. And I think the font at the top saying Raptors is also awesome. Great logo. Next up for the Utah Jazz. I'm not really a big fan of this logo. I think if they added something to do with the mountains or something with Utah, it would make more sense. I know it's hard because the Jazz in Utah, jazz music really has nothing to do with Utah, but they just moved there from New Orleans. But if they added something like that, I think it would be better. I'm not a big fan of this logo. What do you guys think? Next up for the Washington Wizards. Now, the D and the C are lowercase, obviously. I don't really like it. And they're supposed to show the Washington Monument, I believe. But I think it's a little more subliminal over here, this logo. I don't really like this logo at all, really. So I'm going to say no for this one. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And in the comment section, tell me which logo was your favorite, and if you think your favorite team should use it in the future.